In one of the games of the season, Arsenal have left with a point. The first 30 minutes were electric, the rest pure survival. As expected, Anfield was difficult, but Arsenal are still in control of their destiny. So from our saviour at the back, to Mikel Arteta's delayed subs and Gabriel Martinelli's madness, let's break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14. Welcome back to your boys channel. A massive game at Anfield today. It was difficult and it was dramatic, and the point is what we're going to analyze. So as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and help your boy on his road to 200,000 subscribers. We're starting off with Ramsdale, the saviour. This was by far one of the games of the season, full of so much action. The first 30 minutes Arsenal were electrifying. The football was spectacular. They sent out a statement and things were even looking simple. As Mika Richards says, it's one of the best games I've ever seen. I'm not even exaggerating. But in football, things aren't meant to be easy, especially at Anfield. And in the second half, Arsenal were given a reminder of the quality of Liverpool when they get going. What we saw in the second half was Arsenal under siege, Liverpool sustaining pressure. In total, they had 19 shots inside the Arsenal box, the most efforts that Arsenal faced in a Premier League match since data became available in 2003-04. With the amount of chances Liverpool were making, a winner felt inevitable. But Aaron Ramsdale had different ideas, and he produced some world-class saves. A 7.1 overall rating, and that doesn't even do him justice. 4 saves in total, all 4 inside the box. All 4 were gargantuan and some world-class. A 1v1 save against Darwin Núñez, something that we've seen from Ramsdale time and time again this season. But then in the 94th minute, with the game at 2-2, a deflected Mo Salah shot going into the top corner, somehow denied by Ramsdale. The commentators and fans were in shock, no one could believe it, and that wasn't even his best save. In the 95th minute, right at the end, Liverpool getting behind the Arsenal defence, they cut it back to Konate. It's surely going to be a goal, but Aaron Ramsdale was there once again. And as he says after the game, 1 point is better than none. It's another point on the board and we'll see where we go from here. This guy was phenomenal today, maybe even his best ever performance in an Arsenal shirt. And if you're going to win a Premier League title, having a top goalkeeper to save you is vital. Ramsdale's made some massive saves this season. The 1v1 save against Bournemouth, a couple world-class saves against Spurs, and he often gets a lot of praise for his kicking ability, but this game was a stark reminder this guy can be an elite shot stopper. And as Fabrizio Romano says, Aaron Ramsdale's deal for £24 million was an excellent signing for Arsenal. Ramsdale is included in the list of Arsenal players who will be offered new long-term contracts after Saka and Martinelli. He has changed the way Arsenal have played, and the fact that Mikel Arteta saw his potential after he suffered back-to-back relegations. It's about time we give Ramsdale his flowers. But in that Arsenal backline, I also want to give praise to Gabriel Martinelli. A colossal 7.6 rating, 7 clearances, 3 block shots, 3 interceptions, 2 tackles, 3 out of 5 ground duels, 2 out of 4 in the air. Gabriel was given a different role today, going man-to-man with Mo Salah. Since missing out of the Brazil squad, Gabriel has been fantastic, and he's definitely in the conversation of being one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. But what about the performance of Rob Holding? With there still being no William Saliba, this was a massive test for Rob Holding, and to be fair, he had a hit-and-miss performance. A 6.3 rating with 9 clearances, 1 block shot, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle, but 1 error led to a shot and even a penalty committed. Ultimately, Rob Holding has given the referee a decision to make, and it's one of those penalties that once the referee gives it, VAR was never going to overturn it. It was clumsy defending. I don't think Holding was that bad, but I think you could see how much Arsenal missed William Saliba, and it's the little things in terms of the composure playing on the back, the authority on the ball. Saliba gives the Arsenal backline calmness, and every time teams press him, this guy has the ability to play through it, where in the case of Rob Holding, he was hoofing it. We all know Saliba is a different echelon to defender, and there were some rumours that he might have been available for this game. Obviously he was not, but it does seem like he's not too far away, and that's a massive positive. But what did you guys make of the Arsenal defence, and in particular the performance of Rob Holding? Moving on to the second thing, Arsenal survive. The fact that we're even talking about survival is so ironic, because in those first 30 minutes Arsenal were different gravy. 2-0 up after goals from Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus. Arsenal were coasting and playing with a level of arrogance. Often people say going to Anfield it's all about weathering the early storm, but Arsenal were making their own storm. They totally silenced the Anfield crowd. As the first half field tilt shows, Arsenal were the team in control with 53%, but Liverpool at Anfield can never be counted out. This stadium has something about it. Liverpool are unbeaten against the Big Six there, with fans there since 2017, and in this game they flicked a switch. Now some people might blame Granit Xhaka, that moment where he goes head to head with Trent Alexander-Arnold and people say spikes the crowd, but I'm here to kind of dispel that narrative. Yes, Xhaka is slightly naive, but when you watch it back and hear the crowd, it's far from anything special. It's a simple altercation between two players, and it's something that happens in every single football game. The real problem for Arsenal was on their right hand side where Liverpool outnumbered Ben White, and that's where they got their goal from. And these guys are one of the best teams in the league in terms of making big chances. The second most in the league, even more than Arsenal. These guys were always going to make chances, especially at Anfield. And Arsenal were trying their best to weather the storm. The amount of times Arsenal players went down for tactical timeouts to get over to Mikel Arteta and to get some more instructions. Arsenal though are an emotional team, and I think going into the future, in the next few tough games, teams are going to try to test that. The real thing that actually got the Anfield crowd going was the actual Liverpool goal, and that's where the game changed. Liverpool turned it on and Arsenal started to become indecisive. And Liverpool absolutely battered Arsenal. A total XG of 4.76 to Arsenal's 1.81. They had 21 shots in total, only 6 on target, 53 touches in the opposition box, 8 big chances, and 59% possession, with 60% of the overall field till. To have had all that XG and Arsenal still somehow get a point, make no mistake, Arsenal got lucky. In total, Liverpool missed 6 big chances, but Lady Luck was on Arsenal's side, and there were some standout Arsenal players that helped Arsenal survive. Thomas Partey definitely stood out. A 7.2 rating with 28 accurate passes, 1 successful dribble, and 6 ground duels. But ultimately, Arsenal have somehow got away with the draw, and teams that win the title do need a bit of luck, and they have claimed their first point against Liverpool at Anfield since 2015-16. This game for me summarised why Anfield is so difficult. A game that Arsenal had fully in control, changed out of nowhere. Liverpool were all over Arsenal like a rash, and then it became a matter of just somehow in some way surviving. And that Gabriel Martinelli goal was the first Premier League goal Liverpool have conceded at Anfield this year, and only for the 3rd time this season, Arsenal have taken the lead and not gone on to win the game. But the positive there is that Arsenal have also not lost. And Mikel Arteta says, I think overall, after the first half, you'd be very disappointed not to get 3 points. After what happened in the second half, you have to take the point. That's the reality. There were 2 different halves. The only way that I can explain what happened to Arsenal was they started to play to the occasion, and that's where we still lack experience. But Anfield is no joke. Arsenal fans now know that, and having seen Man City lose there, Man United get battered. There's also no shame in admitting that a point is not the end of the world. Moving on to the third thing, the front three is back. For the first time since November, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka in the same Arsenal starting 11. Trossard was unlucky, but this front three has shown in the past they can be special, and in this game we saw similar. Starting off with Gabriel Jesus, whose heat map shows he was absolutely everywhere, and he rose on Easter Sunday in the box with a fantastic header, with a 7.2 rating and 1 goal scored, 4 successful dribbles, 1 big chance missed, 12 accurate passes, and 7 ground duels won. As I said in my last video, when it rains it pours, and I kind of expected for Gabriel Jesus to score, and his performance in this game was very impressive. Some of the hold-up play, the skills, the flicks, the tricks. That's now 3 goals in 2 games. To have this level of Jesus back after such a long-term injury, it's so surprising yet so special. Jesus is one of the few Arsenal players that has the experience of a title race. But then you had our standout attacker, Gabriel Martinelli. As Trent Alexander-Arnold says, Martinelli is quality, and likewise was his performance. An 8.0 rating with 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 successful dribbles, 3 key passes, 1 big chance created, and 7 ground duels won. This guy was cooking on the left-hand side, causing all sorts of chaos. And he loves playing against Liverpool. With 4 goals and assists in 2 games against them this season, you can see that he's playing with a different level of confidence, and with that we are seeing some sublime performances. That is now 14 goals this season, the 4th most non-penalty in the league, more than Ivan Toney, only behind Rashford, Kane and Haaland. The return of Gabriel Jesus, the on-fire Gabriel Martinelli, these two are going to be vital. But then you also have Bukayo Saka, who I wouldn't say was at his utter best, but still was causing chaos. 7.4 rating with 2 successful dribbles, 3 key passes, 1 big chance created, and 9 ground duels won. Even a quiet game for Bukayo Saka is causing teams issues, and in this game he could have easily had an assist, inches away from finding Trossard in the 84th minute, with a game at 2-1. But even at 2-2, there was that one moment that we need to talk about that is just so painful to watch back. Somehow after Ramsdale save from Konate, Arsenal played themselves in. Trossard finds Gabriel Martinelli, and all he has to do is play a simple pass to Bukayo Saka, but it was one pass he slightly overhit, and a moment of greatness was taken from our grasps. And when you've played 95 minutes of intense pressurized football, even the best players make mistakes. How vital that's going to be in a title race is way too soon to know. Moving on to the fourth thing, ARTETA'S delayed subs. In this game, Jurgen Klopp had a clear tactic for Arsenal, and that was to attack the fullbacks. Zinchenko Zinchenko and Ben White were getting caused all sorts of issues, and it's no surprise that both of Liverpool's goals came from Arsenal's left and right hand side. Arteta was definitely trying to respond, getting the likes of Martinelli and Saka to track back, but Liverpool's movement was simply too good and Arsenal were really struggling. We all know about Zinchenko and his ability on the ball, but 1v1 defending has never been his strong point, and Trent Alexander-Arnold exposed that. A simple nutmeg and a cross to the far post, so Liverpool finally make it 2-2. The agonising thing was that Kieran Tierney was just about to come on, he was warmed up and ready, but Mikel Arteta left it just a little bit too late, and Arsenal were made to pay. You can see Zinchenko's face after the goal. Here he is on the Arsenal bench nearly in tears, and he knows how crucial that could be. The fact that Tierney came off the bench, won 3 out of 3 ground duels, he showed his defensive prowess, and it's an indication to Mikel Arteta. In future games he needs to be a little bit more proactive, especially in big games like this when the game's passing us by. Even to throw in the likes of Kivior on such a massive game, it did feel just a little bit strange, and it felt like Mikel Arteta might have been a little bit panicky, but it's definitely something he'll learn from. Moving on to the 5th thing, it's still in our hands. Do not fall for the narratives that after a draw of all places at Anfield, where teams have gone and struggled year after year, that Arsenal have somehow bottled the title. Yes, it's not an ideal result, but with this being our first draw after 7 wins in a row, there's no need to overreact. Look at the teams that have gone to Anfield this year. Man City lost it 1-0. Man United lost it 7. With the context of the game, we're allowed to be annoyed, but at the same time, with the context of Anfield, we need to understand the importance of a point. Anfield's a ground where even Pep Guardiola has only won once in his entire career. But in terms of the title race, here's what's happening. Before the Arsenal game, Man City made yet another statement, as they beat bottom of the table Southampton 4-1 at St Mary's. Haaland the robot at it again. But in terms of the table, Arsenal remains 6 points clear with 1 game extra played. And there's no denying that Man City are impressing, but they of course also have games in the Champions League. A massive game coming up against Bayern Munich. Arsenal of course have a bit of an advantage. 1 game a week until the end of the season. It gives our players more time to recover, Mikel Arteta to give more tactics out, but there's also no certainties. And we have some massive tests to come, with Arsenal's next 4 games being West Ham away, Southampton at home, Man City away and Chelsea at home. And past that you've got Newcastle away, Brighton at home, Forest away and Wolves at home. Man City's games are a bit more favourable, with their hardest games really being Arsenal at home, maybe Everton away, Chelsea at home, Brentford away and Brighton away. And they've also got an FA Cup semi-final as well, so the games are coming thick and fast. But Arsenal can only focus on themselves, take it game by game, and all focus needs to be on West Ham. As Granit Xhaka says, we regroup, we stick together, and we absolutely keep our full focus on our aim. The title race is definitely getting interested, both teams have an equal chance now, but things are still in our hands. But if Arsenal are going to win the league title, we have to learn from today of how to weather storms, especially in massive away games. With the Etihad and St James's Park to come, this Arsenal team has the quality we saw in the first 30 minutes. But as we saw in the second half, teams can still get at us. And without William Saliba, the defense can definitely be shaky. But what are your thoughts on the overall results? Is it a point gain or is it 2 points dropped? And do you believe that Arsenal can still win the Premier League title? But that is the video there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was the 5 things we learned from Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2, a massive test at Anfield, where we've left with something. With Man City hunting, Arsenal better start learning. And I will see you next time. Take care, in a bit.